Halacha Vov, Hilchos Chametz U'Matzah. B'chol Rebbe v'derech Hayvan Me'aris Atzmei Ki'ilu Ba'atzmei Yotza. Person to show that he himself, as if he is one of those who left Egypt. Let's see what it says in the Peirush. B'chol Rebbe v'derech, person has to show himself Ki'ilu, he, as if he went out of Mitzrayim. Yotza Ato Mishiv Mitzrayim. Right. Shenem, as it says, Oisonu Hoitzi Mishom, and we were taken out of there. And when the Torah says Oisonu, we, it means today, yes, us. Those who say it is Mitzrayim. Aldovazem, we have to show ourselves. Tziv HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded in the Torah, in Dvarim 5:14, you should remember ki eved yisa, that you were a slave. Meaning, as if you yourself were a slave. And you were taken out to freedom and redeemed. That's the lotion that's spoken directly to you in every generation. Torah is eternal. The Mishnah cites the Mishnah Psochim 1:16b. In every generation, a person has to see himself as if he left Egypt. But now the Rambam says, as we find in the preparation, the forward to the Franco public edition of the Rambam, he has to show himself. It could be that this was the Girsa in the Mishnah. But Abu Daham says, you don't say laharois, ela lirois. And so is the Nusach in Siddur Abamogoy. In the Agodas that we have, the Nusach is B'chol Rebbe V'derech Odom lirois, he should see himself as if he left, not to show himself. It says, V'gad Lavinucha B'yimor V'imor, same posuk, V'avoas Hashem li, it says in its time, like it's brought in the Mishnah. And we end the Agoda, that lawyers have saying not only our forefathers were redeemed, but we too were redeemed with them. And it says, and we were taken out with them to bring us to Yisrael, which he promised to our forefathers. But Abu Raham, in his explanation to the Agoda, says that the source is the posuk Zacharti, you should remember ki eved yisa b'Mitzrayim. That's said in all the generations, as if you were an Eved and redeemed. The Rambam adds, Eved, a slave, Yotzosa l'cheros v'nivdus. Because he takes both statements that we find in the Psukim. One in 5:15, Zacharti ki eved ha'yiso, Yotziacho, and the second one was Zacharti ki eved ha'yiso. And you should remember that you were an Eved, v'yivtocha Hashem l'kecha misham, and Hashem redeemed you from there. In Rambam says in Perek Zayin Halacha Zayin, Lefigoch kishesoyed odem b'layla hazeh, when a person eats this night at the table, tzor le'echol v'lishtos, u'mesiv, he has to eat and drink while he is reclining. We'll go down to the Peirush, meaning since he has to show that he's a free man, therefore he eats their cheres in the fashion that free people did. Haravyo writes that the obligation of reclining is only in their times, that they used to recline, but today that everybody sits at a table, we don't lay on these couches, you don't need to have lean, because even regular people don't do that, and actually sitting at tables is more of a sign of freedom. But the Goyes Maimon cites that Rav Yo has only one opinion. Halacha, today we too recline. The Marshal says that even though the Rav Yo writes that it's not there cheres today, because only sick people lay in their beds and eat, still there's nothing wrong, that it's only to show the freedom that was attained in their times, in the previous generations. And therefore we say laharois, that we show as if we were there at the time when they did do so. Arba koises, why do we drink the 4 koises? The Rambam says both men, both women have to drink in this night 4 koises of wine, and you don't give less than that, even to someone who has nothing to live from except tzedakah. You don't say, well, 1 cup is enough for you. You have to give him 4. Because the shiur of every kois, how much is it? Is a revius, and therefore be a lug. It's approximately a liter. Maggid Mishnah cites in the Mishnah in Psochim 99b. Even an Onish of Yisrael should not eat until he reclines. You can't give him less than 4 koises, even from the public food chest. Meaning, when they give food out, you have to give wine. And we find in the Brisa, Rabbanan learned for these 4 cups, they have to have each one a revius, both men and women, and also children. Furthermore, the Gemara says, Amar B'Yishua Levi, Noshim are obligated in Arba koises because they too were in the nest. In other words, don't exclude them because of it's time oriented, but rather they were in the miracle of being redeemed. The Rambam doesn't mention children, which are mentioned in the Brisa, but the Goyis Maimonides adds even children and need to have 4 koises. Now, what's the obligation for women for the 4 koises? Rae Gann explains they were in that miracle, like in the Gemara and Soita, that in their schus we were redeemed, as we learned also in Hilchos Purim. And the second obligation is that they were also enslaved, as we find that Paro gave the work of men to women and vice versa. What is the reason for the 4 koises? The Yerushalmi says, how do I know the 4 koises, even though it's to rabbinical? Where did they base it on? Rabbi Yochanan says, because we have 4 languages of redemption. V'yitzesi, I shall take you out. Hitzalti, I shall save you. V'ga'alti, I'll redeem you. V'lakachti, I will take you. And these are 4 languages of redemption. Because we find that there's 4 kingdoms that enslave Klal Yisrael throughout the period of the world that exists, and one of them is Paro. And you have Mitzrayim, you have Babel, then you have Yavon, and you have Edom. And one says it's mentioned 4 times the cup of Paro when we find the dream of the Sarah Mashkim and the Sarah Ophim by Yosef at the end of Vayeshev. Rabbanan say that we find in the Novi that there are 4 cups of payment which will be paid to the nations of the world for tormenting Israel, as it says in Yirmiyahu, Kachas HaKois HaYayin, until Ki Kois B'Yad Hashem, Yirmiyahu Koizo B'Bovel B'Yad Hashem, and until Ruach Zalofos Manos Koisom. And when Mashiach comes, Klal Yisrael will also have 4 cups of consolation, and it's also because HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give the 4 cups of punishment to those nations which arbitrarily cause Klal Yisrael suffering throughout the generations. Shenema, as it says, Hashem enos chelki v'koisi. Hashem is my portion and my cup. And the other posuk is a koisi revoya. My cup floweth over. And the posuk Gimel says koisi shuas eso. And we have koisi yeshuas 2. Yeshuas is 2. That's when Mashiach will come and chayor mabo. Rabbeinu Menoach cites that Natru Goin wrote, he who does not drink these 4 cups is chayev malchus d'Rabbanan. And if he doesn't have wine for a great distance, or he was on a ship and he doesn't have wine, so you should take raisins and soak them in water and make from them 4 koises. And furthermore, he brings from the Yerushalmi, Rabbi Yoina drank 4 cups on the Leil Pesach, and even though he had suffered from it till Shavuos. And also Rabbi Yehuda bar Rabbi Loi drank 4 cups, and his head was hurting him till Sukkos, because Rabbi Yehuda never drank wine, as the Gemara says. That this matron said to Rabbi Yehuda, why is your face so shiny? And he must be because you're drunk. And he answered, I don't drink wine, but only to taste the wine of Kiddush, and Abdullah, and the 4 koises in Leil Seder. For the 4 cups that he used to have to wear a cloth around his head from the pain of his head, from Pesach till Shavuos. But why is his face shining? Because in Kehelas we find the posuk that the wisdom of a person causes his face to light up, that it was difficult for them drinking wine, still they made themselves drink wine. Why didn't they enact a brocha on the mitzvah of 4 koises? Rabbi Meir says you don't say Asher Gitchonim Yisov on them, because you only make a brocha on something that there's no break between the brocha and the item. But between each kois, it's a different thing. Kiddush and Go Hagoda, Berach Hamazon, and Halal. Therefore, you don't make the brocha. What should a poor person do for the 4 koises? That they are obligated to Gaboyim. They shouldn't give less, or they should give him money to buy 4 cups. If they didn't give him money, he should sell his shirt or borrow, or he should go out and work for the 4 koises. Thus, we see that poor people are commanded to go with all their strength to drink the 4 koises. What's the shiur of the kois? Today it's known that the smallest shiur is what Rabbi Chaim Noah says. Kois of Revi'ah has 86 gram, and we find the word kois, it's interesting, is 86 gram. 86, referring to the 86 gram. According to the Chazon Ish, it has 150 gram, and that's kois hogun, which means a correct cup is 150.